termed as the real influencers, but he's also a friend of the house. He's a trainer. Well, you find out more about him for those who do not know. But for those who are lovers of the show, the Techie Talk, we started the year 2019 with him on this show. That day we talked about, starting, having a digital plan for 2019. A lot was said that day. It was a long conversation for almost or more than an hour. And today, we're more than halfway into the year. We'll take stock and also find out what has happened with this amazing guest. His name is John Obidi, CEO and the founder of Head Start Africa. You find out all these and what has been happening to him right here on the show. John, good to have you join us.
Thanks for having me, Colin.
It's always a pleasure, I must say. Sometimes I feel like I follow you, I follow your activities, so I know everything that's happening with you. No. So I almost want to miss that very vital question of what has been happening with John.
Well, the usual, influencing people positively, teaching, training on online marketing. I was in Zambia a couple of weeks ago to teach about the same thing we're talking about here, how to build, grow, and monetize online platforms, how to grow your online influence. And I was also in Accra, Ghana, giving the keynote address at the Mandela Washington Fellowship Regional Convening. I talked about how Africa's youth can harness technology for better access to education. So that's what I've been doing locally, internationally, and I'm still doing more. A few minutes from now, I'll be heading to Dubai to speak about that again, how to grow, monetize. It's a huge thing right now because one of the best kept secrets is the number of online influencers who have a lot of followers but have no idea how to monetize.
Okay, good. That gives you an idea of why we're saying who really is an influencer. So in our talk on how to learn some of these skills by this great mind, we'll also touch on who an influencer is. But hey, welcome to the show. Let's settle in. We also have a cybersecurity expert, a regular guest on the show, and also that exciting lady with a voice that will keep you glued to your seat close to your radio set, listening to just the vibe from her voice, and then you just want to stay on that radio station. And then she's got a lot of things to tell you that will make you say, wow. Are you kidding me? Is that how much I'm exposed? Sometimes she scares me when she talks. I'm like, yo, it's just like we're naked. We're just moving around naked, not carrying anything. We have confidence. Steadily. She's also known as Sissy Nerd, and she is the lady behind that No Go Fall MAGA campaign on social media. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Colleagues, you can blow my trumpet.
Was there anything I said that was a lie?
No, it wasn't, but, well, you're so good at it. Thank you so much. No Go for Maga is doing great, and we're happy to be here to speak about it once more. It's been awesome. It's been an eventful week in cyberspace and cybersecurity world specifically. And I'm going to be sharing a lot, so just stay listening.
Okay, guys, now you know that we are here for business. John Obidi, let's get into it straight up. And for those who are just joining us, we are streaming live on our social media platforms. On Facebook, where we have millions of followers, you could find us at facebook.com/Nigeria Info 99.3. All right, that's how you can find us on Facebook. And on Instagram, it is at Nigeria Info FM. And at Nigeria Info FM. Yes, and you have to add Lagos to that. At Nigeria Info FM Lagos. On Twitter, which we will be pinning this streaming link through which you can also view us live and then comment. It is at Nigeria Info FM. So, John Obidi, wow, I mean, you have been traveling all around, like you mentioned in your opening statement. But now let's find out how we're doing. Let's start from there. How we're doing from the last time we spoke about the level of embrace of this new technology in our businesses, in our lives, in our way of life generally.
So from January this year, after we had that talk here, I'd begun to talk about the need for businesses to understand the different types of media, understand how to profitably situate their businesses on the right platforms. And so it's taken off. A lot of people are embracing the concept of owned media. I've taught them how, giving them the skills and the tools, and more people are now embracing the platforms that will profit them more, because we have the saying on online marketing, do not build your house on rented land. And so we have this Instagram, Facebook, they're owned by someone else. So it's a great place to be. I see it as a marketplace, but you don't build your house there.
All right. So what's the difference between an owned and a rented platform or land? When it comes to
So
this?
an own platform is where you control the rules of the game.
All right.
You have more control over how you interact and how often you interact with your subscribers. For example, if I posted something on Instagram today, only about 10% of my followers would see that. Also, if my Instagram handle were to go down today, I have no way of exporting all my followers onto another platform where they can also follow me. It's gone. My existence is tied to the existence of that platform. Whereas if you had an email list, that is what we call an owned platform.
Okay.
If you're not using that email list vendor anymore, you can export your database and move elsewhere. A WhatsApp database is also good enough. If WhatsApp says they're not doing it again, you can take those numbers and do bulk SMS and other technologies that are also coming up. You can also export those numbers and use them somehow on Telegram. So businesses need to understand that if you don't have a database of people who you can contact to make sales, you're just playing dice on social media. That is rented land, and the rules of the game can change any minute.
Yes, guys, if you've been following our conversation, last week we mentioned how Facebook was considering changing the name of Instagram to be Instagram for Facebook. I read between the lines, I'm thinking maybe he's thinking, well, why have double platforms? Why? Because the platforms are serving almost the same purpose these days.
Yeah.
So, guys, take note of that information. Now, a lot of businesses and people's lives are on some of these rented platforms.
Yes.
What's the procedure? You know, it's not easy for you to be on Instagram. You have millions of followers.
Yeah.
Now, how do you start going on another platform and try to build your style? It's like starting from the beginning. So how do you bridge that gap? How do you make it seamless? How do you do it without necessarily having that feeling of starting from the beginning?
Okay, so if someone already has followers, all they have to do is to start an email list. You can go to MailChimp. I talk about MailChimp all the time because it's free for anyone to start, at least up to 2,000 subscribers. So go to MailChimp.com, start a mailing list. They'll give you all the tools required to start a mailing list, create a landing page, and get people joining your mailing list. So you already have followers, put a link in your bio. All right, say I'm giving out this free ebook or this free plan or whatever it is that you're into. There's something for free you can give. We call it a lead magnet, something of value you offer for free in order to build your database. So you start offering it to those people and you onboard them to your mailing list, and you can start emailing them from there. It doesn't mean that you're starting from scratch. 10,000 dedicated email subscribers are worth more than 100,000 Instagram followers.
Well, say that again.
10,000 dedicated email subscribers are worth more than 100,000 Instagram followers.
All right, we hear these days, they talk about I'm an influencer, an online influencer, you know, and then what everyone thinks about is the numbers.
Yes.
Oh, he's got 100 million people. How many people have those numbers these days? But he has 100 million people following him, 2 million. And does that make you an influencer? Or what's the difference? Who really is an influencer?
Yeah, an influencer is someone who can make people make changes in their behavior.
Okay.
Can you make people think differently? Can you make people adopt new habits? That's a true influencer. Most influencers that are just carrying that name today because they have a lot of followers, they are forgettable. Right? If their handle were to be deleted from the internet today, people would move on very quickly. All right, but there are some people who have affected the way we live. They've made us think deeply about our existence.
Yeah.
They've empowered us with skills with which to improve our lives. Those who teach us how to make money online, teach us how to improve our businesses. I could give names, but I don't want to advertise anyone here.
No, I mean, yeah.
But there's some influencers who they're on Instagram teaching all the time about business, about personal development, about career. They're always giving value. And people are always giving testimonials that, look, I listened to you on Instagram Live this day and I applied these techniques and I got a job. Or I did this in my business, I made 300% return. Or I did this and my life changed. That is the true measure of influence, whether you're able to make measurable changes in the lives of people. All right.
You talked about you have been going about around the world, really. I could say that. So I could call you the Ajala of who travels all around the world, no doubt. What have you been teaching people?
Yes, how to build, grow, and monetize online platforms.
Could you tell us a little about that?
Right. So if no one knows you and you're trying to launch out, maybe you are an expert at something and you want people to know who you are.
Yeah.
The first skill of the new economy you must master is Facebook ads. And people say, oh, these things are for the digital marketers. No, you'll be shortchanging yourself if you say that. In the same way that everyone today must know how to read and write and type a simple document, everybody that must exist online must know how to create a simple Facebook ad. And you go to YouTube, there are tons of tutorials that could teach you that for free. All right.
Okay.
So learn how to create a simple Facebook ad that announces you to the world, that say, hey, this is me. I am an expert at this. You want to learn more? Follow me here, or click here to learn more, or click here to join my mailing list. That's the first step. It doesn't have to be complicated yet. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is you need to learn how to send email campaigns. It is very easy to do because the name campaign is sound. I don't know whether it sounds scary and technical. People just relegate these things to techies, but it's something anybody can learn. So that Facebook ad directs people to your MailChimp email database, and you start having a subscription database of people who want to hear from you about what it is you're talking about. And that's the first step. The more you grow that database, the more people are waiting every day in their email boxes to hear what you have to say. And that's how you keep on growing it. When you have events, when you release a book, when you have master classes, things you want them to pay for, you have a ready waiting list of subscribers who are already passionate about what you do. And then from then on, it's about diversifying where you live online. Now you have a growing email list. You can say, look, guys, we have a WhatsApp subscription service. You can onboard you there. Look, guys, we're now on Telegram. Follow us there, and just begin to grow your empire that way. But it's got to be, but you can't just launch out on Instagram and just say, okay, I'm going to start doing this on Instagram. It's very difficult unless you want to buy fake followers, which I would never recommend. All right. But the way to build a business today, this is how you start. Create a Facebook ad that sends them, that introduces your business to the world and offers them something, maybe a free consultation or a free ebook that teaches them something about what you're about. But in exchange for that ebook, they have to put their name and email in an opt-in form, and you grow that database, and then you start emailing those people every week or every day, communicating. Some will be emailing, some will be replying your emails, and then when you have something to sell, you have people who are passionate about your niche. You know they're passionate about your niche because they responded to your Facebook ad. And so you can sell them on what you have, and that's how you just keep on growing. The more people in your database, the more products you can sell, and it just keeps on going on from there.
Fantastic. I noticed you mentioned Facebook. I do know that you have used that platform more than any other African that I know, especially when it comes to empowering and also reaching people.
Yes.
You have one of the biggest fan base on the Facebook platform.
Yes.
We also know that Facebook has got billions of subscribers and users on that platform. Tell us more about the power of Facebook and what you're doing with Head Start Africa.
So Facebook is quite a behemoth. It's huge. I think today has about 2.7 billion users. And so it's a great place to start building relevance if you don't have much of a budget. So on Facebook, we have Facebook pages, Facebook profiles, and Facebook groups. What I use is Facebook groups because of something called organic reach. Organic reach is the number of your fans or followers that Facebook allows to see your messages every time that you post without you having to pay for ads. So it's terrible on Facebook pages, and you're not legally allowed to promote your business on your Facebook profile. Many people don't know that because they do not read terms and conditions.
So you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to. Yeah. So, now, whether Facebook enforces that or not, I don't know, but it's in their terms and conditions.
That what happens is when you post it, you think others will see it. But Facebook has a way of muting it.
That's
crazy.
So, but we have Facebook groups, and that is where you can build a community around what it is that you do, and that's what Head Start Africa was. I started that in January 2016. And we're just about like 70 members there. Today we're about 105,000 members. So I used that because I knew that if I was building members in that Facebook group, they were going to see my post. And so I just began putting out value there. And Facebook is so rich. Facebook groups precisely is so rich. You can do webinars, you can bring on guests, you can have a full-on show right there in your Facebook group. You can sell products. There's just so much. So a huge part of how I monetize my online brand is just hinged upon Facebook groups. It's really huge. And if people have a message they want to share, you want to build a fan base quickly, but no, I would say fan base. I would say subscriber base, because this is more business centric now. It's not like entertainment where you have fans. It's business where you have subscribers, you have leads, you have customers. Facebook groups is a great way to do it on a low budget, because naturally Facebook is already giving recommendations in the news feed about your new group, and people are joining the group without you paying any money for ads or doing any promotion. So you have that organic growth within your Facebook group. And of course, when you go outside, you can tell people about your group, and it just keeps on growing. So you tend to grow faster if you are built naturally in Facebook. But like I always say, it's still rented land. Don't stop there. When your group starts to grow, start offloading them to your email list. So I started on Facebook groups, but when it got to a critical mass of about 30,000 members, I started telling them, guys, join my mailing list, get on my Telegram channel, get on my WhatsApp subscription service. So I've grown my owned media. And so whenever I have a message to put out there, I'm not depending on Facebook. I have other channels with which to reach them. So this is the logical progression.
Fantastic. I also know he's an expert in podcasting, guys.
Yes.
But I don't know if we have time to talk about that. But you will mention that, no doubt, because we know we have to wrap up this or switch the conversation a bit. But before we let you go, we'd like to find out, sometimes it's important for us to know where we come from. And yes, it's important. And it's also important for us to know where we are. And most importantly, it's for us to project into the future. What would the world be like with the advent of technology now and with the growth occasioned by technology? What would the world be like in the nearest future? And what do we need to prepare for that future?
Okay, well, there's so many ways to answer this question, but I'll talk about it from an angle that I've been really thinking about, and that is mental health.
Okay.
And, we have all these gadgets that we buy. You buy a television, it comes with a manual. And, it has warnings, contraindications. Social media is a technology that comes with no warnings. 0 warnings. They don't tell you that your self-esteem can be damaged by it. They don't tell you that you can have severe anxiety issues from it. And they don't tell you that prolonged use of social media can be harmful to your health. It's not written anywhere because they want to market, and I don't know if there's going to be legislation anytime soon to talk about it. I don't know, but people need to take mental health issues very seriously. Wow. I mean, the old days it was easier to manage your brain, the way you interact with people. Let's assume you are a married man with a wife of maybe 3 kids. All you have that one track mind. You go home, it's just your wife, your kids. You are going out, you're in your car. You are focused on not more than 5 people's thoughts at the same time. But if you're an influencer, you've got a lot of maybe like 70 comments. You are consuming 70 people's thoughts at the same time. It's not natural. Nothing in our evolution has prepared us for this moment in time. And no one's talking about it. If you have 50 followers, it's easier. But when you get 30,000 followers, 50,000 followers, and you get a lot of comments and you are reading every single one, it's not healthy. All right? And also, even those who are consumers, not the influencers now. You're going to a comment section of maybe an entertainment blog or a gossip blog. Reading all that trash is damaging your mind, but you don't know it. One day you wake up in the morning, you don't feel like doing anything, or you just start feeling negative.
You start feeling...
Or you start feeling fearful. They just,
you start feeling like less of yourself.
Yes,
feeling like you've now achieved enough, or just feeling things like that.
There's that, but there's this spontaneous anxiety
that comes.
You can't even place your finger on what it is. It's not as if you don't have money, or you don't even know what's wrong with you. You just have this trepidation, and no one talks about it because still in Nigeria, mental health issues are very much stigmatized.
Absolutely.
So people are going through this, and it's not healthy. There is no contraindication that says, warning, don't use this for more than 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. Studies have shown that it could hurt you. All right. It's only if you go to YouTube and research these things, you'll find the data. But the networks themselves don't put it out there. So I think that in future it's going to get even worse because they're getting even more aggressive and getting more people onboarded into these campaigns. You get on Facebook and it's telling you, what are you thinking? It's not your business.
What am I thinking?
As in how? I diary for that function, but now what are you thinking? You want the world to know what I'm thinking? For what purpose? All right. Check my Insta story. I just put up before I came in here. Bloomberg News.
Yes, absolutely.
Bloomberg News wrote an article about how Facebook was contracting an outside firm to transcribe people's messenger calls. Check it out. It's right there. They're paying an outside contractor.
You want to hear what people are saying?
Yeah. So
why
not just hear, transcribed. Don't want to see the words.
The words of everything.
If I didn't see it on Bloomberg News, I wouldn't have talked about it because I'm also sensitive about fake news and all that.
Yes,
right. So I saw what so this is where we're going. So we, the users, need to get more intentional about our mental health, we also need to get more intentional about our privacy, which is why I'm glad that we're talking about cybersecurity here today.
Absolutely.
Nigerians do not care about privacy.
That's right. So on that note, I think it's the right time to come in, because it's coming scarier by the day. It's the right time to bring in Sissy Ned right now to wrap up this part. Before we let John Obidi go final, let's at least, take a cue from that last point. Yes, Sissy Ned. You have always warned people and told them that cyber, be careful, you're exposed, where information is all that. Now, with the advent, with the speed, they're saying the world is moving with the speed of light. And that means it's becoming fast and fast and fast. And then there's a gap between the knowledge gap, especially in Nigeria. A lot of people do not take these things seriously. How does that make you feel? And why should we, again, for one reason, take these things seriously?
Okay, I sort of agree with you halfway, but I don't agree in the knowledge gap fully. It's a reality gap. So, like, you know how you know something, but what you do is different from what you know. So, because people are feeling like those things happen in Yankee, those things happen in Jan, like the conversation we're having with that just came in here. So there's that sense that, let's live and let's live. Let's show that we're chopping live. Let's prepare them. But in all of that, you're putting out so much information that can never come back and can never leave the internet, and you're putting out information that could even hurt your employer at the time. Like, we're talking about someone posting a badge of their company, and they don't know the implications of that. They might know the implications of that, but still just want to show up because, well, we're in Nigeria, so what's going to happen? So all of those things put together is the reason why we are here. And I like to talk about cybersecurity. I use illustrations. I think it hits home better. So when we talk about passwords, I don't talk about passwords in our imaginations. I use underwear. I relate it to toothbrushes. So if you have one toothbrush, I don't know how many of us have one toothbrush we've used for 5 years. That person, I don't know. I don't want to sit near that person. That person say, I will run.
So you have to be changing your passwords.
This thing. So when you change your toothbrush, why are you using one password since you're an adult? I mean,
give us a strong password.
A strong password is one that is a combination of characters, uppercase alphabet and lowercase alphabet and symbols. And it's very easy. We've shared it on this show how to get that done. First, you download and use a password manager. So all of your passwords are unique across platforms. We recently heard that Canva has been hacked and passwords have been obtained. So if you're using that one password for your email, for example, that password can be used to access your email. Canva, yeah, that password can be used to access your can be used to access your Facebook, can be used to access your email if, for example, you use the same password. So it's very key that you have unique passwords per platform, and then you have one master one master password that is like the key to your vault of passwords. Which means you only have to remember one password, but all your passwords are secure. And then with that one strong password, the key to getting it right is tell a story. Tell a story and create your password from that story. That way you make it very easy to remember. So I would say a unique story would be, my first house was at number 31 Ademola Johnson Street, and I paid 500 naira per month. Now if I write that, those are two sentences.
Get the figures,
I cannot forget that I lived at that place. I cannot forget how much I paid. So I can use that. There's a naira symbol in there. There is a lot I can add as symbols. There's a full stop I can add as a symbol. I can make some uppercase and lowercase, and I will not forget that password. Is that easy?
Hack it.
So I can not
you tell me where Ademola
is that easy to create these passwords. It's just we need to have habits and know consciously that every day we are making decisions around our cybersecurity.
Thank you very much. Well, it's Techie Talk. This is where you get the information you need. It's not just some education. It's relatable radio, and we're glad to have these bright minds. Always come here. Giving these tips. Some of us just sit here behind the mic. We're learning a lot, and we're hoping that you, the listener, is learning something from this amazing personality. John Obidi, we have to let you go.
Thank you so much.
On social media, I know you can be found at.
So my Instagram is at John Obidi, and if you want to join my Facebook group, that's where I share the best of my content. Just go to Facebook and search Head Start Africa with John Obidi.
All right, good tech updates coming up. We hear that deep fake is now a major conversation. What is deep fake? Well, I'll tell you. It's a technique for human synthesis, and it's based on artificial intelligence. Let me explain. I tried to explain practically earlier that it is possible right now with this. I could be talking right now, and they'll put John Obidi's face, and you would never know that it wasn't John Obidi talking at that point in time. What does this expose us to? And what do we have to say about this possibility occasioned by technology, specifically artificial intelligence? Well, we'll talk about that. Sissy Ned is still in the house. For those who have questions about cybersecurity, you have the opportunity to call the radio station. But before we leave you, let's bring you the tech updates. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Fadiho, and these are the tech updates. MTN, Airtel, Globacom, others to carry out second SIM registration. The Mobile Network Operations in Nigeria, MNO, including MTN, Airtel, Globacom, amongst others, are to go through another compliance audit of all subscriber identity module SIM databases. The SIM registration will be carried out by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. The Commission said it initiated the process specifically to monitor operators' strict adherence to the technical and other specifications for subscribers' registration. The Commission, however, said the audit was without prejudice to the ongoing back-end verification and scrubbing of SIM registration data already submitted to the Commissions by telecom operators. Techno tasked device manufacturers on impacting Nigerians. Phone manufacturer Techno has called on device makers to help impact the lives of Nigerians. The company said that ordinary equipment manufacturers, OEMs, should not just be about manufacturing devices, but make a positive difference in the lives of the average Nigerian. It made this call when the Nigerians who won trip to Egypt with football legend Victor Ikpeba returned to Nigeria. With the